When people think of the Ballon d'Or, they automatically go for players like Mbappe, Messi, Haaland, Kane, and Bellingham. But one player almost always misses out: Mohamed Salah. Salah has been immense for Liverpool and arguably the best player in the Premier League for the last 5 years, but is always overlooked. I believe this is due to him not being European or South American. With how the season is shaking up, I believe Salah has the best chance of winning the Ballon d'Or in 2024 over anyone else in the world, and the statistics back me up. 27 appearances for Liverpool, Salah has 18 goals and 9 assists, having a goal contribution a game. Currently he is joint first in goals and assists in the Premier League, the hardest league in the world. Let's compare that to other potential 2024 Ballon d'Or winners. Jude Bellingham has 17 goals and 6 assists from 24 games, just under a goal contribution a game. Mbappe has 26 goals and 4 assists from 25 games, having slightly better stats than Salah, however, in a league lacking quality in comparison to the Premier League. Harry Kane has 26 goals and 8 assists from 23 games so far, having better stats than the rest of the pack, again in a slightly lower quality league. Haaland has 19 goals and 5 assists in 22 games, less than Salah does, but would probably have more if not for a recent injury. Another player I would mention is Virgil van Dijk, who could also have a big season. However, I just don't see them giving the Ballon d'Or to a defender. Looking at the stats of the other 4 potential winners, we can see that Salah has a better round-end product this season so far in comparison. He has stepped up to another level in attacking contributions, not only scoring goals but also providing assists to his teammates, and many of them have been pretty impressive. Salah's average key passes per game is currently at 2.1, higher than any of the other Ballon d'Or candidates mentioned. Haaland sits at 0.8, Kane sits at 1.1, Mbappe sits at 1.8, and Bellingham sits at 1.6 key passes per game, 0.5 lower than Salah, despite being a midfielder. This shows that Salah has more of an influence on the game and his team, able to make things happen in comparison to others around the world. But we all know that if a player does not win a trophy, they have no chance of winning the Ballon d'Or. But I believe this would be a winning Liverpool team this year. Currently, Salah and Liverpool remain in every possible tournament this season, and are heavy favourites for the Europa League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, and sit at the top of the Premier League table. One thing that plays negatively to Salah's Ballon d'Or hopes is that Liverpool do not have Champions League football this season, but I believe multiple trophies will make up for this. With an advantage in the last leg of the League Cup semi-final against Fulham, and Middlesbrough with a slight lead against the poor Chelsea side in the other semi-final, Liverpool have a very good chance of lifting the League Cup. After just beating Arsenal in the third round of the FA Cup, the only team left with a better chance of winning competition is Man City. So Liverpool have another good chance of lifting the FA Cup. Liverpool eased past the European League group stage and are heavy favourites to win, and I'm positive they will win that. The one trophy that will make or break Salah's Ballon d'Or chances is the league title. If Salah does not win the league title for Liverpool, I don't see him winning the Ballon d'Or, considering that Real Madrid, Bayern, PSG and Man City are all in line to win the respective leagues. My predictions for Liverpool's season are Europa League and the League Cup titles, losing the FA Cup to Man City. As for the Premier League, Liverpool will win the Premier League, with Liverpool and Salah achieving a mini treble. These accolades, plus going deeper into the FA Cup and the African Cup of Nations with Egypt, gives him enough to edge over almost all other Ballon d'Or candidates. Another boost in Salah winning a Ballon d'Or is the amount of comparable candidates this season, with only 4 or 5 players that can give Salah a real run for his money. I've only mentioned 5 other players so far, because the number of candidates is so much lower than any other season, but arguably more competitive between the top ones since Messi and Ronaldo are in poor leagues. Outside of the 4 main ones I mentioned, 5 including Salah, other potential players are Alisson, Van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold. A goalkeeper has no chance, and since they all play for Liverpool with Salah, he will have a higher possibility of winning the Ballon d'Or over them unless Van Dijk or Trent Alexander-Arnold go on another level. De Bruyne could potentially rise in the list, but his half-season injury hinders his chances against Salah. Vinicius Jr. does not have the stats to go against Salah and plays in a low-quality league. Rodri, being a holding midfielder, might go against him, but if Man City do well in the Champions League and Premier League, he is the most likely to match up against the main 4 I mentioned. Bernardo Silva is similar to Rodri, but he may not have the stats to match up against the main 4. This is the perfect time for Salah to win the Ballon d'Or, as many teams are transitioning, underperforming, or players such as Mbappe being on a bad team in comparison to Man City, Bayern, Real Madrid and Liverpool. The biggest competitions to Salah are Bellingham and Haaland, which I believe Salah will edge Haaland with my league title prediction. Bellingham will be the most tricky for Salah as he is young, Madrid's current superstar, and they have a high possibility of winning their domestic competitions. However, from past Ballon d'Or results, I don't believe Bellingham will win the Ballon d'Or due to his age, and the fact I think he won't win the Champions League, which I see going to Man City. What helps Salah in his Ballon d'Or pursuit is his teammates around him. Where Bellingham is carrying his side, Haaland relies on service, while Salah has teammates around him that can boost his contributions. Okay, before you laugh, hear me out. Yes, I believe Nunez will play a pivotal role in Liverpool's success this season, and Salah's Ballon d'Or hopes. Out of Nunez's 10 assists so far this season, 6 of them are to Salah. In the last year, Salah and Nunez have assisted each other more than any other duo in the Premier League. And if Nunez starts firing in more goals, this will improve Salah's Ballon d'Or hopes even more. Nunez has improved his overall game in comparison to last season, making better decisions and being more effective with his feet, with goals lacking despite putting himself in the right positions. With Salah off with Egypt, Nunez will play more minutes and start more games, which I think will be the start of a Nunez increase in goal contributions. Also believe that if Nunez does not increase his goal contributions, it won't hinder Salah's chances due to the large attacking options at Liverpool. The brilliance of Klopp will keep this Liverpool team firing on all cylinders despite the form of Nunez, which brings me to my fifth and final reason. Jurgen Klopp. We can talk about stats of Salah and other players all day, but they don't have one thing, and that is the brilliance of Klopp. Klopp will be the deciding factor for the league this season, especially in the second half of the season. Under Klopp, in the last 5 years, Liverpool have had a much better second half of the season in the league, and I believe this will continue. Klopp has grown much more tactically and is able to continue an attacking first style while keeping control of the ball. Klopp's substitutions have been immense so far, such as Nunez, Gakpo, Elliott and Jones coming off from the bench to impact games, creating moments for Salah in the final minutes of the game, even if he isn't having his best game. These 5 reasons are why, in 2024, Mohamed Salah will win the Ballon d'Or. Just a little update here. While I was editing this video, Salah just got injured for Egypt, and Egypt looked to be heading out of the African Cup of Nations. It doesn't look too bad of an injury, maybe out 2 games for Egypt. If his injury ends up becoming worse than it actually is, this could be pretty big for his Ballon d'Or hopes and for Liverpool's season as well. Only time will tell. If you enjoyed the video and you got some time, please check out some of my other content and subscribe if you want.
Some of my viewers are actually subscribed to my channel. What?
Also, please let me know in the comments if I made any mistakes or left out some things. I always try my best, but sometimes I do make mistakes.